So let's start. Hi, and welcome to this webinar, AI Today and Tomorrow. My name is Melinda, and I'm your host today. I'm a marketing manager here at APSIS, an efficy product, and we are here today to celebrate the new APSIS AI Assistant, an AI text generator specialized in email marketing, and that is available for our customers in the EU. We're really excited about this and having you all here today to celebrate with us, but even more important, to talk about this super interesting topic of AI and marketing. This webinar will be kind of a panel discussion. We are having some great guests coming on, but before that, I will just go through the practical details with you. Yes, this webinar is being recorded and you will get the video afterwards. You are also all muted and your cameras are off. For questions, you have a Q&A function. Look for the question mark. It might be either in the menu below or on the upper right corner, depending on what device you are watching from today. We will gather all the questions and answer them at the end when we have all the panel live at the same time. So throughout the webinar, just write in all your questions and we will get back to them at the end of this session. Here we go. The agenda, it's very straightforward. First, we will have just a very quick overview of the of APSIS and efficy, who we are, but then we will jump straight into the AI and marketing trends and like important things to considerate when working with these tools. Also, how to personalize your AI generated text, and of course, we will look into the APSIS AI Assistant live. And then, as I said, the questions and answers at the end. Also, very, very briefly, APSIS One, an efficy product. APSIS, we have over 20 years of experience of email marketing. We were one of the very first tools in the market, actually, which is really fun to see and be part, and also to drive this development and evolution throughout the year through, the entrance of marketing automation, drag and drop designers to really empower you to, control the look of your emails and your newsletters. And now AI text generator and AI assistant in the tool. Since 2021, we are part of the efficy group. We are an all-European group with CRM and marketing automation tools. We have local champions such as APSIS and Web CRM, also Tribe and efficy Enterprise CRM. Here in the Nordics, especially for APSIS, we do have a very strong local presence, so we will speak your language. We have Swedish speaking support, Norwegian sales, and so on. I'm personally based in Sweden, and being part of this all-European group, it also has a lot of benefits for GDPR, data security, and things like that. Some things that we will actually also cover a little bit throughout this webinar talking about AI. But with that said, I think we should just bring on our very first speakers. Let me stop sharing because, as I said, we want you to be able to see our panelists, and instead welcome Felix Denbratt and Mariam Matuk. There we have.
Right. Thanks so much, Melinda.
Super. And Mariam, awesome. Let's do a quick round of presentations. Felix, who are you? What do you do here at APSIS and efficy, and what's your relation to AI?
All right. Thanks so much. So my name is Felix Denbratt. I'm the CTO for the APSIS products, or efficy MarTech solutions. I think as a technologist, AI is super interesting. So I've, of course, me and pretty much everyone in the product development organization have followed this very closely throughout these years. And seeing the gradual development and improvement, and of course now the latest generations of Gen AI capabilities and all the benefit that can bring us. It's quite exciting, to say the least.
Definitely. Thank you. Thank you for being here. I will ask you the same question, Mariam. Who are you and what's your relation to AI?
Well, hi everyone. I'm Mariam Matuk, content strategist at EPSI Group. And well, my job is to create and manage content that resonates with our audiences. And I see my relationship with AI as a kind of sidekick type of thing. So it helps the content team to streamline content creation and enhance our strategy with data-driven insights. So I think it just helps us to supercharge our content efforts and stay ahead in the content game by helping us brainstorm ideas.
Nice. Super. Thank you also for being here. Before we actually start talking about these trends, I want all of us who listen in today to have kind of a similar understanding of what AI is and what especially Gen AI is. Felix, can you explain to us?
Sure thing. So Gen AI is kind of the latest development in the long tradition of machine learning and AI solutions. So when regular machine learning or AI is targeting to be able to replace repetitive work, identify patterns and then repeat on those patterns to simplify it. The Gen AI is instead building upon that and creating huge statistical databases where you'll be able to kind of predict what is expected from certain input in text. So if you say ask a question, then that number of characters or that sequence of characters, what is most likely to be the expected answer for that? So it's as a nature of Gen AI is it's unpredictable answers compared to normal machine learning, which is very predictable answers.
Yeah. So that is when you are using Gen AI for pictures, you might end up with quite wild stuff sometimes. But good, then we kind of have that as a basis that Gen AI is having this more random aspect to it. Again, Felix, what would you say is the biggest trends when you look at the AI, especially from a technical perspective?
So this is a large topic for sure. Looking at the overall market, I mean, I don't think this goes a week before there's another big announcement that one of the tech giants out there, Microsoft, Google, Amazon, OpenAI, have done another $1 billion investment into something. I mean, it's clear that this is really one of the biggest areas when it comes to investment and focus for a lot of the giants in tech industry at this point. So I think that is that kind of shows the potential this can have, just looking at the numbers itself. So what we see right now is that all of these big dragons are really focusing on how can they create big frameworks that we can use with AI. And then it's up to the product companies such as efficy and APSIS to use those kind of frameworks and foundations and incorporate that into our products to ensure that our users can benefit from all those capabilities going forward. So I think that is very much the trend we're seeing. And also combining a lot of different Gen AI models in order to do even more advanced stuff. So you have text generation and maybe voice to text solutions combining with other solutions, maybe image generations and so forth to simplify the entire flow.
Yeah, cool. That's definitely a field where lots of things are happening. From a marketing perspective, would you, Mariam, say are the biggest trends right now?
Well, for content marketing, we can see, of course, like the personalization of the content. As Felix mentioned, AI is more about statistics. So having all this data helping us to better target our content, our messaging to our potential customers is a win-win. Another trend will be the using AI for predictive analysis. So going again into the statistics part helps the content strategies to anticipate the trends and get actionable insights. So you can create more value. And I will say another trend, apart from the obvious of using tools such as ChatGPT to create content, will be, and Felix briefly mentioned it, like the rise of voice search optimizations. So we haven't jumped in that trend yet, but I think will be needed in the short coming future to not only optimize keywords for written content for search engines, but also optimize for our content efforts for voice search assistants. So it's very interesting.
Yeah, that is cool. It's definitely it's in all different fields. A thing that I've personally noticed as well is that the chat bots, if you go into like some kind of retailer, online shop, almost they are more and more, chat bots popping up, helping you with product recommendations and stuff. So it's definitely happening a lot and spreading. And since it's spreading and we have kind of all seen it, I'm very curious about our listeners here today. So I'm going to launch a little poll to ask if you have used AI in your marketing efforts before. So you should see the poll right now. So the results are that most people in this call is using AI for marketing or communication, etc. 24% has answered yes frequently, 51% yes occasionally, 22% no but I plan to, and then 3% said no and I don't plan to. So hopefully we can convince you otherwise today. Great. I will close the poll. Super. So with AI being kind of in everyone's mind, why why is it good? What's the benefit? Mariam, what do you say?
Well, from a content perspective, I think it's getting so big because it allows us marketers to make our processes more efficient and personalized and data driven. I did saw a report on AI business predictions from PwC that 72% of business leaders, believe that AI will be fundamental in the future for content creation. So with that number, we can kind of imagine how big of a deal is and will be. So jumping on that, we have made some surveys for the APSIS customers to see what are their struggles. And I think one of the benefits helping them, AI helping them, is like the time efficiency. And I feel I need to elaborate here. Using AI and for saving us time doesn't mean that the AI is doing the heavy lifting, but using it to help us kind of like lay the first stone so we can build from it. It's really helpful, which also leads to the other benefit I see, that is productivity. So using it to brainstorm or creating first drafts or first outlines, I think help us kind of get rid of this writer's block and develop more ideas in shorter periods of time. So I think as marketers, it can enable us to reach new heights and with more efficient processes and productive shifts.
Yeah, definitely. We will see some of these features live in the APSIS AI Assistant later on. But as you say, like getting this kind of help to get the first draft. I read somewhere that the average email specialist writes 15 emails a week and also then adapting that content for different audiences. That's a lot. Like, of course, you will sometimes be stuck and need that help. That extra help, definitely. And what you say, it also makes me think of this quote. It's from an author called Joanna Maciejewska. So sorry for my pronunciation. She's saying, I want AI to do my laundry and dishes so that I can do art and writing, not for AI to do my art and writing so that I can do my laundry and dishes. What's your thought about that?
100% will be great. Will be great to have that. But I think overall, I just think AI won't be a substitute, for us. We will always need to have or to add this human touch and align the content we create to our brand guidelines and objectives. So I think it's just kind of, as I said, like kind of like a sidekick, a help to help us kind of reach other levels.
Yeah, then you can get the help. Like if you get the start, then you can put your time and your energy on like the fun part, like adapting the text, making it your own, like adding that creative touch. And also, as you, Felix, mentioned about the randomization, and we've talked a bit previously about hallucinations. Can you explain a bit more, like what does that mean and what kind of demands that puts on someone who's using this tool?
Yeah, sure. So I mean, hallucinations is a very real aspect of the Gen AI solutions we have. It's not something that's an error in the model itself. It's kind of an expected behavior to some degree, but it can give some both funny and dangerous results. Just the other week, I think there was you could read about in the media when Google released their AI-powered search engine, and someone got the answer that you should use glue in order to ensure that the cheese sticks to the pizza. That part, I mean, most can see that it's not good, and more take it as funny. But there's also other examples where it gave the advice it is okay to leave your kids and pets in a warm car because it's warm there. And of course, that's instead very dangerous. So this is something that everyone will have to be aware of. And this is kind of a built-in limitations in the model itself, because even though it says artificial intelligence, there is zero intelligence here. It is really truly machine learning with some randomization added to it. So when you write a question to the AI, there's no one really understanding what you're asking for. It's more based on this sequence of characters, what is the most probable
Answer. Probable.
or like what is the following characters that's most likely to pop up based on that. So this also means that if you write on English, well, that is where most of the AI have been trained. So you get more likely correct answers. If you're writing on a less popular language such as Swedish, the model is actually much smaller. So it's more likely that it might jump over to another language because it identifies something and then go that instead. So you can write a question in Swedish and you get answers in English, and it's kind of expected. As long as you understand this, it can still provide a lot of benefits, a lot of help, and really increases productivity a lot.
Yeah, definitely. And the like I would say the key takeaway here is that whatever text you generate from the APSIS AI Assistant, or if you just ChatGPT, always read through, because if you are sending something, then it's you who are responsible for the content. So that is like we will need the human touch on it, definitely. Another thing I think is always coming up when talking about AI is data security. So I'm handing that back to you again, Felix. What are your comments about data security?
So this is another huge topic, and a lot of companies start to become aware of the risks here, and some of them have just outright blocked. They rolled out a policy and prohibited any use of Gen AI because of these risks. Other companies have not yet identified the risks and might not have any policy against it, and then it's more a free-for-all setup. But the biggest risk is that in order to create these large language model that we use for Gen AI services, you need huge amount of text to base them on. You need huge amount of information. So a lot of the AI solutions that are completely free, what they're actually doing is that anything you send to them, any content generated, that is actually used to train future models. So you may not pay anything for it, but this in of itself is a huge risk, because if you send in sensitive company information, that information might actually be part of future responses going forward. So that's pretty much as giving all that sensitive information to your competitors. If you send in PI data, well, that's GDPR breach. Or if you start to use it a lot and you use your specific tone of voice, well, that specific tone of voice might now actually be everyone's tone of voice going forward. So I think this is a bit of a risk that everyone needs to be aware of. When looking at our own GenAI solution in APSIS One, we mitigate this by promising you that we're not gonna use what you send in and what we generate to train future models. We don't even store what you send in and what's being generated until you actually accept that content and it's part of the email or email draft or form or page. And then it's only stored as part of that content. So we don't kind of track those things to ensure your compliance and security requirements are met.
Yeah, that is super important, definitely, to be able to use something, especially when you have it in the tool, that you can actually trust that this will not take your tone of voice or your learn from your data. Super important. And with that, I will thank you, Felix, for now. You are coming on later when we have the Q&A session. So if you have any questions to Felix, just write them in and we'll get back to them later. So thank you, Felix. And instead, we are bringing on our next speaker. Mariam, you are still with us, but welcome, Agneta. Agneta is a strategic advisor here at APSIS efficy, and we can't. Yes, here we have you. I will give you the same questions as the others. Quick introduction and what's your relation to AI. Also, if you have any specific thoughts that has come up, yeah, so far.
Yeah, absolutely. So as you said, my name is Agneta Nevell, and I'm a special advisor. So I work with sales support and marketing here at efficy, and I've been with APSIS since 2016, so a lot of experience, and I've been through a lot of the changes with marketing. And before I joined APSIS, I worked with brand protection for many years, which is, of course, a connection to AI. And with AI, my relation to AI, well, I always prefer to join and enjoy a ride rather than watching others have fun. So I decided to do that with AI as well. I find it both, a bit scary, but extremely interesting. Realizing early on that this will be part of the future, like it or not. So I joined the AI wave to learn more and understand both its power and pitfalls, of course. And the discussion so far, it's been really interesting. And I mean, we could talk about this for hours. But one thing that I think we might need to bring to the table is the concern that AI in marketing might potentially push us towards neglecting the human aspect of the audience if we're not mindful. AI in many cases, also in our platform, offers powerful tools for optimizing our marketing efforts, creating content, pushing us, to challenge ourselves a bit, reducing the perspective of self. I can get ideas that I might not have come up with myself. But the message must always appear to be authentic and honest and trustworthy. It needs to be tied to the brand. And you mentioned as well previously that the tone of voice that we have for a brand or for a company, no customers or clients want to talk to a robot or want to be communicated with by a robot. They want it to be emotional. The emotional connection needs to be there. And we also know that the emotional engagement is key to building long-term loyalty and building brands. And I mean, that's a bit what marketing is about. We want to build the brands and we want to make money. We want to get through. So what the brand is about needs to be the focal point of the communication. So I think the balanced approach, use the power that comes with AI, challenge yourself, create content, use it to save time and to be creative, to get further, for collaboration and so forth. But the human-centric approach still needs to be in there. So, well, a bit to summarize, I don't believe that AI can replace human creativity. Miriam mentioned that as well, but it can supplement and it can boost it. So, repeating myself a bit, but use AI as part of your marketing strategy, but ensure that your brand stands out. Use your creativity, empathy, and insights, but never forget the human touch.
Yeah, I think that is really, really good, good said. And if I ask you, Mariam, from your from creating a lot of content, as I know that you are doing, what are some concrete tips on how can you actually do that? If you have this draft of AI text, what should you look for when you make it your own?
Yeah. Well, I think Agnita said it all. So yay, that we are on the same page. But just to have like a quick checklist so we can do so, as you said, Melinda, I think will be first like to make sure you match your brand's tone of voice always. Like you need to to protect that presence that you will have, that awareness of your brand, that positioning. You need to reflect that in the content you generate. Then you need to review the content for accuracy and relevance, as Felix said before. Like they can say random things that maybe are not accurate or can damage our content. So we need to review the content for accuracy, and after that, kind of like adapt the content for your context. So you must tailor all the content that AI generates, so you can put it in your different platforms, audiences, and channels. Like it won't be the same to create like a blog using ChatGPT than creating like a social media post. So you need to fit and tailor it for each one of your channels. And yeah, we have said a lot. Don't forget to infuse that human touch, like the human magic. We need to aim for emotional connections and to make ourselves and our brands and our content relatable to our customers and their pain points. So yeah, I think those are the 4 tips we need to check when we generate AI content.
Yeah, definitely. A thing that I personally also like to add to that is to kind of look at the words, because there's definitely some kind of cultural aspect. A lot of these different large AI models are trained in the US, and in the US and Europe, and especially like here in Nordics, we have different way of talking. I think you can see it also, like if you look at LinkedIn, there will be posts that people are using, for example, ChatGPT, creating a post and just putting it on LinkedIn, and it doesn't sound like that person at all, and you can kind of detect immediately that this is AI, because it's a lot of like superlatives, big words, extensive, just like wow, extra, in a way that I don't talk like that. So for me, that is also one of the very concrete things I do, is kind of to look at specific words and like, is this a word I would use myself? No. How can I then rephrase it or just make it less amazing? Actually, like here in Sweden, maybe that is something that both you, Agneta, and Mariam also have seen. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, definitely.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Now there are a lot of kind of keywords that you can tell that it's AI. And now, for example, in myself, that I work with freelancers, when I ask them to, do a test or whatever, you can immediately detect if they are using AI, which is fine, but you lose that sense of uniqueness because everyone is kind of like having the same open statement in the blogs. So you need to to spice it up and put your own touch for not to have like this replicated blog.
Yeah, I think that is also really fun to see kind of how this technological tech development will also affect our language use. We have another email specialist that's unfortunately not able to be here at the webinar, but she loves to use. She's from the US and she loves to use the word elevate, and that is one of those words that also AI is using. So she told me that she can't use this word anymore because then she will not sound authentic. So she has kind of stopped using this word. And for me, I have instead started to use different words that I've kind of learned from working together with AI. Where one example would be unravel. It's kind of a fun word because it also connects to my hobby of like crocheting and knitting. And when you mess up your project, you have to unravel it, like take it up. So that is a word that I have started to use also in other settings, which I think is very fun. But also time flies. So I will thank you, Mariam, for now, because we will also, we want to look at the APSIS AI Assistant and bring on our next speaker, not Mariam, sorry, Alexandra.
Yeah, hello. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, all good. So we're good to go. My name is
Yeah.
Alexandra Rudakovskaya, and let me introduce myself. I'm a product owner for generative AI features here at APSIS. What else do I have in connection to AI? So AI is a big thing now, and it's not the first time when people call new big things like when people suppose that a new big thing would definitely kill some professions, roles, channels, and so on. But if we look back into the history, let's say into the history of television, when television broadcast was invented, so what have happened? People started to think that now newspapers, cinema, theaters would definitely disappear. Who would go there if you can get all that you need sitting on your couch? So, but here we are 100 years later, and all this stuff exists. And so far are still with us. So we have television, newspapers, and all other channels. And on the top of that, now we have YouTube channel, and YouTube didn't ruin television. It rather got a huge boost. It rather led to a huge boost of production companies. So now they thrive because now we have not only content that is limited to television creators, but also we have individuals who got access to the new audience. So basically the same applies to AI. I don't believe it would ever ruin any profession, any role. It would rather leverage our skills, and it will definitely help us to perform better, more efficient, and even faster. So I do believe that it's a new step for our productivity, and AI is actually already changed the way things work, and it will impact search, how search works, and it will definitely impact data analysis, because previously you had to be a data analyst to write requests and get data, and then you need to be deeply involved to analyze that. But now you can just feed your data to the model and ask to define peaks or whatever, and you will get a quite a reliable answer. So let's maybe switch to the main topic, to the content creation, which is definitely the most popular niche for AI assistants.
We will let you share your screen, and we will go over some of the main use cases for the APSIS AI Assistant. Here we are.
Can you see my screen?
Yes.
I guess yes. So if you're not familiar with that, that is our content editor with the different blocks which you could put here just by drag and drop. But we are here to check how does AI works, how that AI helps you to combine nice emails. So first of all, we begin with this nice widget. And as you can see, we use prompt engineering, and with this option on, we will optimize your prompt. So you would probably get a pretty short text, it's either no longer than a regular email, and it would be optimized for email channel. Let's start with a simple example. Let's pretend we are real estate agency, and let's ask for something like
10 tips for real estate investments. It's very easy. You just write your prompt right in the tool, and then it will generate.
Yeah, but that is unpredictable. So I don't really know what would I get as a response, because it would be some, yeah, that looks like a nice email. For sure, I need to edit it a bit, but still, let's pretend we are not okay. That is too long. I don't need 10.
Make it 5 tips. So this is a good way to like really be able to work and adapt the text in the tool.
Wow, nice.
Nice.
Now I would accept that, and I would edit that. I don't need it. So basically, I need to just edit and format this text, and then we are good to go. But let's check what else is possible with a generative AI text model. If you are let's say experienced, more experienced, you can go without pre-optimizing, without prompt engineering, but then you will get output which is not an email optimized text. So you would probably get an output which is more like an article or something like that. But with that disabled, you can be free with your requests, and you can ask model to provide text concrete with concrete length, let's say, in concrete style or whatever. Or you can use it for ideation, and let's try how it works.
Great. So this is also one of the great tools, like if you are stuck with ideas, to be able to just ask that right in the tool. And yeah, nice list of ideas.
Oh, let's pick one.
And it's good to remember here that, like what Felix talked about previously, of the that we are not saving or storing your data. So if you want to keep this list of ideas, you can just copy paste it and store it yourself locally. And now it looks like you are using one of the ideas and asking it to provide more text about that.
Yes, and now we'll see what would I get. And the magic is you never know what would you get, and you probably would never get the same answer for the same prompt.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
As you can see, it sounds a bit weird, so I need to edit it.
It's definitely a good way to just kind of, you can play around here. I'm very curious. Can you also show us the what's it called, the subject line feature, the pre-header?
Yes, because for a nice email, you also need a subject line. So here in settings, you would see this small AI button, and subject line generation works a bit differently because subject lines, they are pretty short, and we need to type our prompt.
Yeah, and since the subject line is one of the tools that we as marketeers have to boost opens and engagement, the subject line is crucial to your email, but it's really easy to fall into the perspective of self, to go with the subject line that I myself believe in because I would open the email, but that doesn't necessarily mean that my audience will. So this is also a nice way to challenge the perspective of self and get something that you might not have chosen yourself. So again, back to using the power of the creativity, but keeping the human touch, of course.
Yeah, and for the subject line, we have up to 5 options to pick from. If I'm not okay with any of that, I can reject and run it one more time. But let's pretend I'm okay. Then we can generate pre-header in the same fashion, but I would like to demo one more thing that AI would definitely help you with. And that's why I would proceed to the next step. That is clear, but if we run an A/B test, here AI would empower our experiments, because now we have this nice subject line, but we may have like as many almost as many splits as we want, and it's not so easy to come up with 10 different subject lines for that. And here we can ask AI to help us and to ideate against our subject, and then pick new subject lines.
Super convenient, and you can also ask it to include emojis or do not use emojis if that is something you want to test. And while you're writing that, I know now time is 15:45, so this is when we are officially ending this webinar. We have had so much to talk about, but we are staying along to answer some of the questions that have come in. And of course, you are getting the recording afterwards in case you have to jump to your next meeting. Nice.
And
well,
I'm back from
Alexander.
our demo.
Yes. Awesome. Well, thank you for the presentation. We have gotten some questions, but I would like us to also welcome back Felix and Mariam to be able to answer what we have gotten. Here we have Felix and Mariam. Super. So we have one question that is, how is the APSIS AI model trained if you are not using the customer's data? Maybe you, Felix, want to take that.
Yes, indeed. So training Gen AI models require absolutely mind-blowing amounts of information. And it's also pretty much requires a mind-blowing amount of money in order to kind of really train good models. So to do the basic training of these models, this is currently, I mean, there are some quite poor models that's done by some universities, but generally it's only the biggest players in the field that can generate really good models. Google, Amazon, Microsoft, OpenAI, Anthropic, and so forth. So we don't generate this model from scratch ourselves, and we definitely do not use any customer data. Instead, we get help from these existing models. Some of them are made available for various contents, and the one we've selected is one that is secure. So as I said, we don't send your data across the Atlantic to the US. We don't store it. We don't use it to train models. So what we selected is a careful model that we found can be quite good for email content generation.
So basically, we have like customized and adapt and specialized one model to be suitable for APSIS purposes. But when the model itself is getting trained, because they are training them all the time from other data, we are also benefiting from that. So it will become better over time. Yeah. We have another question. Is the AI available only in APSIS One and not in APSIS Pro? And the answer to that is yes. This is a feature for APSIS One. We have another question here. Can you use the AI to check the email for incorrect spelling and faults like double words, grammar?
So, I mean, you can always pass the content of your email and then ask it, change, rewrite this or change the tonality or stuff like that. And that's come out quite well. If you really want something that is specifically a spell checker, I would generally recommend to use, for example, Microsoft Word. If you've tried other text editors, you might see that even the text editors that try to specialize on this, they sometimes struggle. So best one that I've tried so far is this actually Microsoft Word. So I would rely on that for that part.
Also keeping in mind your brand's tonality and your tone of voice. So if you are writing in English and you turn to write it more in the British English, the British style, you need to make sure that you use the British spelling and the British words for certain things instead of the American or the Australian or the South African English. So it's you can't really trust it that way. So I would also go with your suggestion, Felix. I would use like Microsoft Word or similar.
You can always try, but you might get some interesting results. So use it as a pure spell checker and grammar checker. Maybe not.
Good. We have one last question. It would be helpful to know which culture the APSIS AI Assistant, the language it's based on, and that would be, it's mainly American, trained on American data, right?
So our NA model, it supports a lot of different languages. We support English, as you've seen in the demo, but we also support Dutch, French, Spanish, Swedish, Norwegian, Finnish, Danish. So generally our main markets. However, when it comes to the English language, it has been trained on a lot of different data, so not only limited to US data. However, for natural reasons with copyright and legislations and so forth, there's a lot more information available using US English compared to, maybe Australian English or British English. So most models supporting in English tend to lean towards the kind of American culture.
Yes. That was the last question we got. I will, in case you are getting questions afterwards, I will just share my screen again for you to be able to know how to contact us if you are having any questions. There we have. If you are not already a customer of APSIS, you can try it yourself in our 14 days free trial. You will find it on our website. You also have our contact information here for the Nordics. All numbers are on our website. If you are a current customer, do reach out either to your customer success manager, or you can reach our customer service, our customer care through this email. Also, of course, our all contact information is on our website. Super happy to have had all of you here today. Thank you to our great panel for sharing your insights with us. And with that said, bye.